tonight's top stories. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. orders all concerned government agencies to ensure that all necessary aid is provided to Filipinos affected by the onslaught of Maymay. A private prosecutor poses an important question on the use of an alias for a government document that requires an authentic signature of the supposed recipient of public funds. The palace calls out some supposedly biased impeachment court senator judges. A group of retired generals expressed support to the Department of National Defense's stand on the West Philippine Sea issue. All these and more on PTV News Tonight. Good evening. Welcome to PTV News Tonight. NDRRMC has kept close tabs on Typhoon Maymay way before it hit land, going on full red alert status after landfall to mitigate her impact and initiating preemptive evacuation in vulnerable areas and flooding hotspots. Meanwhile, the MMDA flood mitigation team is on 24/7 duty for declogging operations, as well as keeping flood pumping stations running until the waters subside. Our Kenneth Pasyente tells us more.
As Typhoon Maymay made landfall, heavy rains were felt in several parts of the country, prompting President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to direct concerned government agencies to monitor the situation in affected areas to ensure the safety of residents. In fact, the NDRRMC is now on full alert status to ensure that the negative impact of the weather disturbance is mitigated. A strict preemptive evacuation has also been ordered in areas vulnerable to possible flooding and landslides. In Metro Manila, the MMDA is also on alert and has assured that all pumping stations are operational.
Ang MMDA, sa pangunguna ni Chairman Don Artes, ay meron ng nakahandang rescue personnel at equipment. Meron na ring coordination ang MMDA sa lahat ng Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office at sa 17 local government units sa Metro Manila. Samantala ay nakahanda na ang mobile pumps at lahat ng 73 pumping stations ay operational na habang isinasagawa ang preemptive pumping upang taasan ang carrying capacity ng mga daluyan ng tubig.
As for the assistance needed by affected residents, the palace said the DSWD is ensuring that the necessary family food packs have already been delivered. This along with the assurance that there are sufficient funds for this purpose.
Umabot na sa halos 1.8 million pesos ang inilaan ng pamahalaan para sa humanitarian assistance sa mga maaapektuhan ng sama ng panahon. Namahagi na rin ang ahensya ng family food packs, ready-to-eat food items at sleeping kits sa mga lalawigan ng Benguet, La Union, Cagayan, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, Albay at sa Zamboanga City. Sa kabuuan, umabot na sa mahigit 5 million family food packs ang inihanda ng pamahalaan para sa mga apektadong lugar, samantalang aabot sa higit 1.6 billion pesos ang standby funds sa buong bansa. Handa ang Pangulo at ang pamahalaan sa anumang sakuna.
In its latest report, the NDRRMC said 4 people have so far been reported dead due to the combined effects of weather disturbances Luis, Maymay, and the southwest monsoon. 2 of the fatalities were from La Trinidad, Benguet, following a landslide this morning at a construction site where all the victims were employees, while the other 2 were from Rodriguez, Rizal, where a rock slide occurred and the victims were siblings. The number of individuals affected by the inclement weather has now reached around 80,000. Nearly 7,000 individuals are temporarily staying in 39 activated evacuation centers in the Ilocos region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Bicol Region, Bangsamoro Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, and Zamboanga Peninsula.
We can describe na yung bagyo is hindi siya concentrated sa iisang lugar. Na kung nasaan lang yung bagyo is nandun lang din ang effects. Naghahatak ito ng hanging habagat na nagdadala rin ng ulan sa ibang parte ng Pilipinas. Like say itong Rizal, ang layo nito sa Central Luzon or Northern Luzon. But inulan pa rin at nag-cause ng rocklight incident. So, challenging siya na kalat siya, hindi siya nakasentro sa typhoon path.
Kenneth Pasyente for the Nation.
The deadly tag team of Typhoon Maymay and an enhanced southwest monsoon has put the MMDA and DPWH on their feet in their declogging drainage systems and clearing the inlets leading to them. And as the rains fell all day over the megacity, the MMDA and DPWH teams scrambled in flood hotspots in the cities of Manila, Alabang, and Parañaque to gather and haul debris, mud, and trash, getting in the way of drainage water flow. Our JM Thompson sums up all the details in this report.
The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, continues to implement various activities to prevent flooding to ensure the safety of citizens under Oplan Kontra Baha program. Among the measures being conducted by the agency are the clogging operations and cleaning of drainage inlets. This aims to provide proper water flow along major thoroughfares in Metro Manila. Based on records from the DPWH National Capital Region, over 8,000 cubic meters have already undergone cleaning and declogging operations. Because of this, changes can be noticed in canals that frequently experience flooding. Collaboration between the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, flood control team and TUPAD workers also continue to conduct declogging operations in various areas across Metro Manila. This includes the cleanup conducted along Taft Avenue from Pedro Hill to Julio Nakpil in Malate, Manila. Several canals were also cleaned at Sunflower Street, Barangay Alabang, Muntinlupa City, and Ninoy Aquino Avenue, Barangay San Dionisio, Parañaque City. The MMDA and DPWH constantly remind our fellow countrymen to exercise discipline in waste disposal, which is a big help in reducing floods. Meanwhile, the MMDA advised motorists that number coding is temporarily suspended today due to the expected effects of Maymay and the southwest monsoon. J.M. Thompson for The Nation.
Prepping and pre-positioning much-needed family food packs, ready-to-eat meal combos, and miscellaneous packages are key in the timely delivery and distribution success of DSWD's disaster response anywhere nasty weather disturbances strike in the country. Case in point, 5 million family food and ready-to-eat meal packs, all good to go at a moment's notice in all the places hit hard by the tropical storms Luis, Maymay, and the enhanced southwest monsoon. As we hear more from our Sheila Natividad.
Due to the heavy rains brought about by weather disturbances Luis and Maymay, further intensified by the southwest monsoon, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, has also stepped up the distribution of relief goods to families affected across different parts of the country. According to the DSWD, its disaster response teams in the regions remain on alert to immediately respond to the needs of local government units and affected communities. In fact, the department has already distributed more than 1,000 family food packs, ready-to-eat food packs, and non-food items to address the immediate needs of families displaced by the disaster. Based on the latest report from the DSWD's Disaster Response Operations Monitoring, Information and Communication Center, more than 26,000 families have been affected, while nearly 300 barangays have been impacted by the severe weather. The department has also provided nearly 1.8 million peso worth of humanitarian assistance to affected communities in the Ilocos region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Bicol region, and Zamboanga Peninsula. More than 5 million preposition family food packs are also ready for distribution in the coming days, along with over 200,000 non-food items and more than 300,000 ready-to-eat food boxes. According to the DSWD, all relief supplies stockpiled under the Buong Bansa Handa program remains sufficient based on the agency's current assessment. The department continues to coordinate with LGUs to ensure that the needs of communities affected by the inclement weather are immediately addressed. The DSWD also advised the public to continue monitoring official weather bulletins and follow the advisories of their LGUs as authorities remain on alert for the possible impacts of continuing rains. Sheila Natividad for The Nation.
Tropical depression Maymay has brought continuous heavy rains to the Cordillera region, triggering a fatal landslide that claimed 2 lives in La Trinidad, Benguet, while causing significant flooding of farmlands and travel disruptions on major road networks. Gab Humilde Villegas has the report.
Two were killed while one was injured after a landslide buried an eatery in Barangay Silan, La Trinidad, Benguet due to continuous rain caused by Tropical Storm Maymay. The local government assured that assistance will be extended to the families of the victims. Several crops were submerged in floodwaters in La Trinidad, Benguet after the water level in Bolo Creek rose along with continuous heavy rains caused by Tropical Storm Maymay. Farmers are monitoring their crops and the situation in the area. Non-residents are temporarily not allowed to pass through Cannon Road due to the continuous rain. However, a portion of its one-lane passable following a mud flow that affected the road. DPWH continues its monitoring and clearing operations in the area to restore the road to normal as soon as possible. One lane of the junction Talubin Barlig Natonin Paracelis Calacad Road at Sitio Purag, Barangay Banaw Natonin Mountain Province is now passable to vehicles following a soil collapse in the area. DPWH clearing and monitoring activities in the area are still ongoing. Gab Humilde Villegas for The Nation.
In the meantime, Vice President Sara Duterte cannot escape responsibility or liability for the misuse of tens, even hundreds of millions in confidential funds because she signed off on all the approved documents. Nice try by bosom buddy and biased senator Amy Marcos, who tried to get the vice president off the hook by a gotcha question over who should be responsible and take the blame for funds received from the bank. Our Marcos Sadi dwells on the details.
Huwag silang magdala ng walis sa Senado.
Palace Press Officer Claire Castro took a swipe at some senator judges after they allegedly showed bias in favor of Vice President Sara Duterte during the impeachment trial.
Marami po kasing lumalabas sa impeachment ayon sa PCO na nag-aaktong mga lawyer na hindi dapat dahil dapat maging impartial, manatiling walang bias ang mga senator judges. So hindi po sila mandato na walisin ang katotohanan. So wag silang magdala ng walis sa Senado.
Castro was referring to the remarks of Senator Judge Amy Marcos, a known ally of Duterte, during exchange with former state auditor and prosecution witness Roderick Wamil yesterday.
Ang tanong dito, sino ang accountable officer dito sa sitwasyon na to? Kasi ang liwaliwanag na hindi naman si Vice President ang payee. Hindi naman sinasabi na nasa kanya yung pera. Ang liwanag sa inyong joint circular that the special disbursing officer is the one who was designated by the head of agency to have custody, di ba? And in the case of the OVP, si Acosta yon. In the case of DepEd, hindi ba si Fajarda yon?
That is not entirely correct po, Your Honor. Because under the joint circular, it shall be the responsibility of the head of the agency first to approve yung cash advance. Pangalawa, to oversee yung agency-wide utilization. Pangatlo, to ensure compliance with the joint circular. Hindi lang po si SDO po yung accountable officer, Your Honor.
Castro said Senator Marcos appeared to have gone beyond her role as a senator judge.
Ang judge po kasi, sila po ay nagtatanong for clarification. Ang ibinabato nila ay clarificatory questions. Hindi po sila para mag-cross-examine ng witness. Hindi po sila dapat nakikipagdebate sa witness. Kasi ang mandato nila, kunin ang katotohanan para sa taong bayan, hindi para walisin ang batas, walisin ang dapat na malaman ng tao para lang pagtakpan ang kalokohan di umano ng iba.
Despite Castro's criticism of Senator Judge Amy Marcos' remarks, Malacanang said President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. maintains his position of not interfering in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Malacanang also assured the public that authorities continue to search for Senator Bato de la Rosa. The palace said it will also investigate those responsible for spreading false reports about the alleged arrest of de la Rosa, which it earlier described as a diversionary tactic aimed at shifting public attention away from Duterte's impeachment.
Ipinag-utos na rin po niya sa anti-fake news desk natin na tignan lahat ang nagpapakalat ng mga fake news katulad ng nangyari dito sa di umanong pagpapaaresto kay Senator Bato de la Rosa at titignan din natin kung ito ba ay malisyoso.
Meanwhile, Malacanang distanced itself from the complaint filed before the Ombudsman against Health Secretary Brix Pujalte. The complaint stemmed from the alleged delay in the Department of Health's procurement of more than 3 billion pesos worth of tuberculosis medicines, which the complainant claimed was intentionally delayed to favor a particular supplier.
Nasa jurisdiction na rin po ng Ombudsman kung siya ay kinakailangan na magpataw ng preventive suspension para sa mas malinis na pag-iimbestiga sa naturang reklamo.
Marcos Sadi, for the Nation.
The House Prosecution Panel is demanding an explanation from Vice President Sara Duterte's camp regarding the suspicious use of aliases on acknowledgement receipts for 612.5 million pesos in confidential funds, while asserting that as head of the agency, she remains primarily liable for the questioned expenditures. Vel Custodio tells us more.
Kung alias, bakit may pirma? That's a question that the House Prosecution Panel wants the camp of Vice President Sara Duterte to explain regarding the names appearing on the acknowledgement receipts used to liquidate the 612.5 million pesos in confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education in 2022 and 2023.
Hindi pa po natin sinasabing peke, alias, kasi po yung makakasagot niyan, yung depensa. Pero isang bagay, no, kung alias po yung pangalan, iba't may pirma. Kung alias yung ginagamit yung pangalan ng recipient, iba't may pirma. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung pirma ba, alias din?
Alias man o totoong pangalan, dapat ang public officials ina-account ang pondo ng taong bayan.
Following yesterday's interjection by a senator judge, the prosecution maintained that the Vice President, as head of OVP and DepEd, remains primarily liable for the use of confidential funds, not just a Special Disbursing Officer or SDO. The senator judge has insisted the SDO should be held responsible for any alleged misappropriations of confidential funds.
Maliwanag rin sa mga ebidensya testimonya na may pirma yung official, Vice President, sa mga dokumento na nagpapatunay na alam niya, tsaka pinapatunayan niya saan, paano, kailan ginamit yung pera. So mahirap pong tanggapin, intindihin, yung isang argumento na pumirma yung isang official, yung head of agency.
Ligutan added that it would be unjust to shift the responsibility solely to lower-ranking officials when the head of the agency actually participated in and approved the documents.
Assuming, but not conceding, na walang kinalaman yung official sa paggasta ng perang iyan, yung tanong siguro is, mapagkakatiwalaan pa ba natin yan? Yung official na wala man lang alam, wala man lang prosesong sinunod, wala man lang oversight mechanism na sinusunod upang malaman yan, iba na yung pinagagamitan ng mga subordinates niya. Yung pera po, 500 million pesos. Pera po natin yan.
Earlier, former COA ICFAO State Auditor Roderick Wamil testified that under COA DBM Joint Circular No. 2015-01, the head of the agency is among those primarily accountable for the management of confidential funds. The prosecution also responded to issues raised on alleged bias or leading questions asked by some senator judges.
Regardless of the nature of the questions, kahit sang anggulo mo siya tanungin, very consistent ang testigo sa kanyang isinasagot, no? And pertaining to the liability, hindi siya limited sa SDO. Maliwanag sa batas, the head of agency is primarily liable.
Meanwhile, the prosecution said it considers former OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta and former Deputy Special Disbursing Officer Edward Fajarda as hostile witnesses. According to Luistro, their testimony is crucial because they directly handle the release and disbursement of the confidential funds.
Napanood po natin yan doon sa naging proceeding ng Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability Si Gina Acosta ay nagsalaysay noon na pagkatapos ng ma-encash yung pera, ay tinurn over na niya dito sa security officer kay Colonel Lachica, no? And then she was asked, bakit mo ginawa yon? When you are the accountable officer, ikaw ang SDO, ikaw ang banded, ikaw dapat ang nagdi-disburse personally sa mga recipients ng confidential fund. Klaro ang sagot niya, utos po ng boss ko. And she was referring to Vice President Sara Duterte.
Luis said Fajardo gave a similar account, stating that after encashing the DepEd's confidential fund, he turned the cash over to former DepEd Security Officer Colonel Dennis Nolasco, also allegedly upon the instruction of the then Education Secretary Sara Duterte. The prosecution said it expects both witnesses to maintain the same testimony they previously gave under oath before the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. Vel Custodio for The Nation.
The Philippine Navy's BRP Miguel Malvar showcased its operational readiness by placing in the top 3 during the Naval Surface Fire Support exercises at the RIMPAC 2026. Meanwhile, the Association of Generals and Flag Officers, or AGPO, is echoing the stance of the Department of National Defense on the West Philippine Sea. Patrick De Jesus has the full report.
Retired generals who are members of the Association of Generals and Flag Officers, or AGFO, have expressed support for the Department of National Defense's position on the West Philippine Sea issue. This comes after Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. said that a public official should consider resigning if he or she is unable to uphold the laws that reinforce the Philippines' position in the West Philippine Sea, including Administrative Order Number 29 signed by former President Benigno Noynoy Aquino III in 2012. AGFO echoed this position, stressing that public office is a sacred public trust and that every government official must remain loyal to the flag and the republic, including faithfully carrying out the laws of the land. AGFO also emphasized that a unified national stance on the West Philippine Sea recognizes the sacrifices of active duty personnel in defending the country, as well as Filipino fishermen who lawfully earn a living within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone in accordance with the country's sovereign rights. Meanwhile, the Philippine Navy's BRP Miguel Malvar placed in the top 3 during the Naval Surface Fire Support Rodeo, or live fire exercise of the Rim of the Pacific, or RIMPAC exercise 2026 in Hawaii. The BRP Miguel Malvar used its Otomelara 76mm Super Rapid Multi-Feeding Main Gun to engage simulated targets. The accuracy and overall performance of the participating warships were measured by the Pacific Missile Range System using a computerized target evaluation system. During the month-long RIMPAC exercises, which concluded in July, the BRP Miguel Malvar also participated in other advanced training activities, including complex maritime operations, anti-submarine warfare, and multi-domain warfare exercises.
These accomplishments reflect the Philippine Navy's growing operational readiness, competence, and ability to perform effectively in demanding multinational environments.
The Philippine Navy also explained the importance of participating in various exercises alongside its allies and partner nations.
Through its successful participation in Rim of the Pacific exercise, or RIMPAC 2026, the Philippine Navy reaffirmed its commitment to developing a modern, multi-domain, and self-reliant naval force while strengthening its role as a reliable regional partner contributing to peace, stability, and the rules-based order in the region.
Patrick De Jesus for The Nation.
Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo expressed her gratitude to Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon for the equipment sent by the DPWH to address flooding in Naga City. The machinery will support dredging operations at Sagop Creek as part of the Oplan Contra Baha program. In a separate development, Secretary Dizon has dismissed the DPWH Camarines Sur 1st District Engineer following an accident in Barangay Magayes del Gallego, Camarines Sur. The incident was attributed to a lack of proper road safety warning signs and traffic safety devices at the construction site. Secretary Dizon emphasized that safety standards must be strictly enforced, especially given the continuous rainfall in various parts of the country.
Gigmoto Catanduanes Mayor Vicente Tayam Jr. expressed his gratitude to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. following the release of a 30 million peso local government support fund, or LGSF, for his municipality. The LGSF aims to provide essential financial assistance from the national government to local government units, aiming to enhance the delivery of public services. The funding is intended to support critical development projects, including improvements in infrastructure, agriculture, and medical services. After spending 7 months in evacuation centers due to the unrest of Ngayon volcano, hundreds of families in Albay are now returning to their homes following the lowering of the volcano status to alert level 2. The Albay provincial government ordered the decampment of internally displaced persons, while the Department of Social Welfare and Development Field Office 5 distributed family food packs to assist returning residents. Despite the lower alert status, the Philippine National Police and the Philippine Army continue to secure the 15 border control points leading to the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone. FIV also reminded the public that all activities within the permanent danger zone remain strictly prohibited to ensure public safety.
The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, reported an increase in the employment rate of the country last June, reaching 95.1%, which represents 50.66 million employed Filipinos, with the service sector as a primary driver contributing 62.7% of total workers. Significant contributions to employment growth were driven by the accommodation and food service activities, along with administrative and support service activities. The country's labor force participation rate reached 65.1%. This means that a total of 53.25 million Filipinos are active in the workforce. And in other news, the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, reaffirmed its commitment to protecting labor rights and fostering inclusive economic growth. This to boost international partnerships and uphold the dignity of Filipino workers. Labor Secretary Francis Tolentino addressed these priorities during the 7th General Membership Monthly Meeting of the Consular Corps of the Philippines. Central to his discussion was the issue of wages in the National Capital Region, or NCR. To address the situation, the Secretary announced the convening of an emergency meeting with representatives from both labor and employer groups, including the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, to ensure all sides are heard. Furthermore, DOLE is pushing for the establishment of a labor attorney's office to provide accessible legal assistance to reinforce the government's commitment to the rule of law and due process.
After a deluge of complaints of foot dragging on the release of official receipts and certificates of registration from buyers of new cars and motorcycles, Land Transportation Office Assistant Secretary Marcos Lacadilao unleashed the wrath and power of his office by issuances of steep fines, suspensions coupled with fines, and year-long revocations of their licenses to sell, and with the blacklisted tag for good measure. 37 dealerships incurred fines, while 39 outlets received $500,000 fines, along with a half-a-year suspension of their accreditation. A dozen dealerships had their accreditation totally revoked for a year to include a blacklisted tag. Then again, these dealerships, 178 all told, received summons from the LTO and were warned to get their acts straight over complaints of deliberately delaying the release of the ORs and CRs of their customers. All talks and initiatives toward a fare hike for public transport jeepneys have been put on hold pending the distribution or payout of the increased fuel subsidy for operators and owners of public transport jeepneys and utility express vans next Saturday, after which the 2,000 peso financial assistance payout from the Uplift program will commence, as we hear more from our JM Thompson.
The proposed 1 to 2 peso fare hike for public utility vehicles remains suspended to prevent an added burden on commuters amid fluctuating oil prices and rising costs of goods.
At hindi naman pong ibig sabihin na hindi po ibig sabihin na disapprove. Suspended lang sapagkat ang DOTR, ang pamahalaan nasyonal, kailangan magbigay at maghanap ng pamamaraan para makatulong sa ating transport group.
This was announced by Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez during a joint press conference this Thursday together with the LTFRB and various transport groups in the country. However, they assured that the transport sector will not be left behind and will receive sufficient assistance. As an initial relief measure, the fuel discount will increase to 12 pesos per liter from the previous 10 pesos starting August 15, where the government allocated a 400 million peso fund to help drivers save approximately 1,800 pesos per week.
Lahat po yan ay tinutugunan po ng ating pamahalaan at sa lahat po ng kanilang mga concerns ay makakaabot po ito para po matugunan na mas mabilis. Kung ano yung mga lugar na dapat pa na magkaroon ng mga gasoline stations na may magbibigay ng fuel subsidy ay dapat po na matugunan kaagad. At sa ganito po na 2 piso ang increase from 10 pesos to 12 pesos, ito po ay makakapagbigay na rin po ng ginhawa sa ating mga kababayan sa transport sector dahil itinaas nga natin sa 12 pesos kada litro. So 1,800 na kada linggo ang tulong ng gobyerno.
Apart from the fuel subsidy, PUV drivers will also be officially included in the DSWD Uplift Assistance Program to receive 2,000 pesos in the financial aid per family based on the mass release submitted by the department.
Based sa usapan namin ni Secretary Rex, isasama na po yung transport group dito. So masasama po sila sa next ng uplift assistance natin.
The DOTR has also allocated at least 1.5 billion pesos in budget for the Public Transport Modernization Program or PTMP for amortization assistance. This aims to provide up to 20,000 pesos monthly to transport groups that have transitioned to help them with their monthly payments. Other initiatives include waiving toll fees per provincial buses on selected expressways starting August 10, extending the terminal fee waiver at PITX until the end of the year, and free monthly terminal fees at 86 public transport terminals in malls starting August 15. Due to these agreed measures, transport groups canceled the scheduled nationwide transport strike this August 7 and postponed it until next week.
At sa tingin ko naman po, dito po sa natin nakuha, hindi na po tayo dapat mag-welga. At sino po ang pahihirapan natin dito? Ang pahihirapan lang natin dito yung ating mananakay.
Oo, hirap na po ang aming mga driver. Ganun din po ang operator. Pero sa ginawa po nila, nakikita po namin na sinasagot nila lahat na maitutulong para sa transportasyon.
Secretary Lopez emphasized that all these projects are the result of a whole-of-government approach to directly address the issues of the country's transport sector. J.M. Thompson for The Nation.
The United States government has formally requested the extradition of Kingdom of Jesus Christ, or KOJC founder Apollo Kibuloy, to face legal charges. Philippine Ambassador to the United States Jose Manuel Romualdez confirmed that the request has been transmitted to the Philippine Department of Justice. Kibuloy is currently detained at the Pasig City Jail, facing local charges including qualified human trafficking and sexual abuse. In the United States, he faces multiple federal charges, including sex trafficking by force, sex trafficking of children, and the illegal bulk cash smuggling. He was indicted by U.S. federal authorities in 2021 and was previously included in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI's most wanted list. And in other news, Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian emphasized the need for stronger supervision to ensure electricity is supplied to Filipino consumers at the least possible cost, citing the continuous rise in generation charges. With this, the Senate leader has filed Senate Resolution number 581, seeking a formal inquiry into the absence of regular fuel cost audits within the power sector. Gatchalian pointed out the climb in the power costs, noting that customers with 200 kilowatt hours consumption are getting billed around 2,350 pesos in January to 2,970 in July this year. He argues that the lack of routine audits undermines transparency and accountability, and a thorough examination is necessary to ensure that costs passed on to the public are accurate and justified.
Seized or confiscated goods are under tighter watch by Bureau of Customs personnel in the wake of Customs Chief Ariel Nepomuceno's latest directive in response to increased pilferage attempts on such items. In a memorandum issued Monday, August 3rd, Nepomuceno, all district commanders of the Enforcement and Security Service and chiefs of the Auction and Cargo Disposal Division to ramp up post-haste all monitoring and security procedures, tighten control over storage facilities, regulate access to documentation of all seized goods, and immediately inform any suspicious activity, breach, loss, or inventory shortfall to the Office of the Commissioner. He also made crystal clear of no seized illicit tobacco products or cigarettes to be transferred or disposed of sans his consent. All of those caught are proven to have violated the aforementioned orders, to include their commanders and or chiefs, shall pay a steep price of suspension or outright dismissal. 7 teachers and 2 ship crew members can thank their lucky stars and the swift Philippine Air Force Reservists response in sparing them from a watery grave off the waters of Sacol Island in Zamboanga City. After their overloaded small pump boat took in water to eventually sink, the 9 boat passengers found themselves floating and exposed to either shark attack, hypothermia, or drowning caused by extreme exhaustion. But to the swift response of the Philippine Air Force Reservists, all 9 passengers floating in the water were successfully rescued, but their things and digital devices used for teaching sank to the bottom. The 7 teachers and 2 Philippine Air Force Reservists were on their way to Manikahan Island for an outreach mission. And we'll have more news right after these reminders. Stay with us.
Disaster Watch. Alamin ang mga dapat ilagay sa go bag bilang paghahanda sa sakuna. Maglagay ng tubig na maiinom at mga pagkaing hindi madaling masira. Maglaan ng espasyo para sa first aid kit at survival kit para sa mga hindi inaasahang pangyayari. Huwag kalimutan ang toiletries para mapanatili ang kalinisan ng katawan. Samahan din ng mga damit at beddings na magtatagal ng ilang araw. At para ligtas at may alam, magdala ng mga teknikal na gamit. Sa panahon ng kalamidad, dapat laging listo.
sa pagbabalik ng aksyon laban sa kahirapan. Patuloy nating ilalahad ang mga kwento ng hamon at tagumpay na hinaharap ng ating bansa. Katuwang ang National Anti-Poverty Commission. Ako po si Diane Guerrer. Samahan niyo ako tuwing umaga sa Rise and Shine Pilipinas. One nation, one flag, one people. Unity in eradicating poverty. Aksyon laban sa kahirapan. Coming soon, dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
Ang mga nasawi na ating mag-aaral kamakailan, dala ng karahasan at kapabayaan ay nag-iwan ng malaking puwang sa kanilang pamilya at mapait na aral din para sa ating lahat. Sa mga magulang at kaanak ng mga nasawit at nasaktan dahil sa nangyaring karahasan sa mga paaralan, tanggapin po ninyo ang aming taimtim na pakikiramay. Kailangang mamulat ang buong lipunan at akuin ang responsibilidad. Pag-ibayuhin natin ang ating paggabay at pag-aruga sa ating mga kabataan. Sa tulong ng unang batch ng 10,000 School Counselor Associates na ipapasok natin sa mga pampublikong paaralan, ang mga anak natin ay meron ng malalapitan para sa angkop na payo sa anumang mabigat na pinagdadaanan sa kanilang isipan.
Tutukan ang mga solusyon at aksyon sa mga isyu ng bayan at programa ng pamahalaan para sa bagong Pilipinas. Kasama ang ating Presidential Advisor for Poverty Alleviation, Larry Gato, live dito lang sa PTV.
GADWatch, Solo Parents Act.
Yung Expanded Solo Parents Welfare Act, isa itong batas na naglalayon na protektahan yung mga karapatan ng mga solo parents at ganun din yung kanilang mga anak. Halimbawa dyan ay yung pagdadagdag doon sa solo parents leave. Napakahalaga nito para matiyak na yung mga solo parents natin ay present sa mga significant events or milestones ng kanilang pong mga anak. This Expanded Solo Parent Welfare Act entitles solo parents na makatanggap ng 1,000 pesos monthly subsidy. Gayon din yung discounts na ibinibigay para sa mga anak 6 years old pababa. This enables them to purchase diapers, milk, medicines, or vitamins or supplements for their children. Sustainable Livelihood Program, they will be prioritized in either tracks, which is micro-enterprise development or employment facilitation. Likewise, they are also prioritized for other social assistance, like assistance to individuals in crisis situation. Other government agencies have also extended support for solo parents as prescribed under the law. So, si DOH, of course, yung discount and exemption from value-added tax to solo parents on the purchase of commodities. Gayon din naman sa PhilHealth, of course, yung automatic coverage as prescribed under the Universal Healthcare Law. And sa National Housing Authority, yung housing provision to indigent solo parents. Sa CHED or in the UNIFAS, meron din namang isinasagawa na coordination for scholarship exclusively for solo parents and their children. Mahalaga ding mabanggit yung mga iba pang mga assistance. Ito yung mga non-monetary assistance like counseling, psychosocial first aid, psychological intervention, especially if a solo parent has undergone a traumatic experience. The first thing that they need to do is to go to the respective City Social Welfare Development Office for the issuance of a solo parent welfare ID. And from there, you could already claim yung mga iba't ibang mga benefits for solo parents. We build or increase their level of awareness so that they would be encouraged to register. Because again, following the principle of inclusivity, dapat walang maiiwan, lahat nababahaginan ng tulong.
GADWatch.
A magnitude 6.4 earthquake struck near Balut Island in Sarangani, Davao Occidental yesterday and was felt in various parts of Mindanao. Following the strong tremor, teachers and students safely evacuated their schools in accordance with established earthquake evacuation procedures. They remained at designated evacuation areas while awaiting further advisories from the authorities. The earthquake was also felt in General Santos City, South Cotabato, and other nearby areas. In its latest report, the Office of Civil Defense Region 11 said no major damage or casualties have been recorded in the Davao region. In light of the incident, OCD Region 11 once again urged the public to stay prepared for any disaster by having a disaster plan and promoting disaster resilience awareness. In the meantime, local authorities in the Jose Abad Santos continue operations to address several landslide dams formed after heavy rains, with the MDRRMO coordinating with the PDRRMO, the Philippine Army, and other government agencies. 2 landslide dams have already been cleared, while efforts continue in 6 affected barangays despite challenging terrain that prevents the use of heavy equipment. The local government has also enforced mandatory evacuations to protect residents from the threat of flash floods caused by dammed water. Meanwhile, 3 more landslide dams were recovered in Barangay Sugal, with one believed to have triggered flooding in Sitio Kibatang after the torrential rains. The Jose Abad Santos LGU is now appealing for additional support from national agencies and neighboring local governments to speed up the clearance operations.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development and the Department of Public Works and Highways, Cordillera, have been placed on full alert to ensure immediate response to communities affected by weather disturbances. At least 22 families or 71 individuals have been affected, while prepositioned food packs and other relief supplies are ready for immediate distribution to those in need. Meanwhile, DPWH Cordillera continues clearing operations on national roads after landslides and rockfalls affected 173 road sections across the region. Several roads have already been reopened, while maintenance crews and heavy equipment remain deployed to restore traffic and ensure the safety of motorists. Authorities are urging the public to stay alert, follow official advisories, and avoid traveling through areas prone to landslides and flooding.
I'll give you the latest buzz here at Pop Culture Corner. First up, Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige said there are plans for Tom Holland to return as Spider-Man, but the actor will first take a well-deserved break following the global success of Spider-Man: A Brand New Day. Feige said Tom and his wife and co-star Zendaya deserve time to celebrate the film's success before any future projects move forward. He also confirmed that Sadie Sink's role was kept secret to preserve the movie-going experience, adding that her character will play a significant role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Meanwhile, Tom Holland said he is willing to continue playing Spider-Man for as long as Marvel wants him to return. Spider-Man: Brand New Day has surpassed the $1 billion mark at the global box office, while also earning more than 586 million pesos in the Philippines during its opening run. Over October will hold the biggest concert of its career on October 4 at the New Frontier Theater in Quezon City. The show will also serve as a farewell tribute to drummer Janessa Janae Geronimo, marking the final performance of the band's original 5-member lineup. The band said they are both emotional and excited as they prepare to enter a new chapter while remaining focused on delivering their best performance for fans. Over October added that beyond their hits and achievements, the concert will celebrate the memories they have shared together over the past 12 years. And content creator Mama Lulu celebrated her 69th birthday by sharing her gratitude for her family, her life, and the blessings she continues to enjoy. In a social media interview, she said her greatest achievement is the life she built with her 5 children and 2 grandchildren, while also hoping to reach 1 million YouTube subscribers by the end of the year. Mama Lulu also looked back on the sacrifices she made as a nursing assistant, caregiver and single mother after moving to the United States. Despite the challenges she faced, she said she remains grateful for her journey and would not change the experiences she shaped her life.
Filipino duo Steffi Aludo and Lorraine Halorina continued their impressive run after successfully defending their girls' doubles title at the second week of the ITF J60 Oscar J. Hilado Championships in Manila. Steffi Aludo and Lorraine Halorina emerged as girls' doubles champions after defeating South Korea's Lee Yirin and Park Se-kin at 6-3, 6-2 in the finals at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. The victory marked the Filipino pair's second consecutive doubles title following their dominant championship run in the tournament's first leg. In that event, Aludo and Halorina defeated A. Sin Huang of Chinese Taipei and Han Frida Siu of Hong Kong 6-1, 6-1 to claim the crown. Now in its 18th edition, the Oscar J. Hilado J60 Championships has served as a proving ground for some of the country's top tennis talents, including Francis Alcantara, Temil Amadis, and Filipino star Alex Ayala. Filipino boxer Reggie Filipino phenom Suganov has returned to the top of the World Boxing Organization, or WBO, junior flyweight rankings, strengthening his bid for another world title shot. Reggie Suganov reclaimed the #1 spot in the latest WBO junior flyweight rankings, with fellow Filipino Arvin Magramo also securing a place in the top 10. The ranking boost comes just weeks before Suganov's highly anticipated rematch against South Africa's Sivenati Nont Shinganon or Shinga on September 12 in Bohol. The bout will serve as an IBF Junior Flyweight World Title Eliminator, with the winner earning the right to challenge reigning IBF champion Thanongsak Simsri of Thailand. Suganov's only professional defeat came against Nont Shinga in their first meeting in South Africa in 2023. Since then, the 28-year-old Filipino has won 5 straight bouts, including a victory to capture the WBO Global Junior Flyweight title. In his most recent fight last February in Bohol, Suganovs defeated South Africa's Siphamandla Baleni via 8th-round technical knockout.
The center of Tropical Storm Maymay, with international name Kujira, including those from Baler Doppler Weather Radar, was located at 150 kilometers east-northeast of Etiagi, Isabela, with the maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour near the center and a gustiness of up to 60 kilometers per hour. It is now moving east-southeastward at 35 kilometers per hour. Maymay is forecast to continue weakening and may be downgraded into a remnant low tonight or tomorrow, August 7. After this, Maymay will move generally southeastward until it merges into the larger circulation of Tropical Cyclone Dolphin. With its mainland, Cagayan, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, and Aurora may expect rains with gusty winds. The southwest monsoon may bring occasional rains, while Metro Manila, Zambales, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan, Rizal, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, and Occidental Mindoro. Meanwhile, Ilocos Region, the Cordillera Administrative Region, Nueva Ecija, Babuyan Islands, the rest of Mimaropa, Quezon, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Albay, and Antique may experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. And the rest of the country may expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Our food for thought tonight comes from Kalu Ndukwe. Kalu, a Nigerian author, leadership consultant, and public policy expert known for his writings on leadership, service, and nation building. And he says, "The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy." I think the idea here, Jay, and everyone listening out there, is not to try and live forever, but to try and do things that will. And for me, that is to leave a legacy of kindness, compassion, character, and faith. How about you, Jay?
I'd say it as this, that whatever you keep stays with you, but whatever you give lives beyond you.
And before we end our newscast, please do take the time to like, subscribe, or share PTV's social media pages flashing on your screen right about now. It would go a long way and we would truly appreciate it. And so goes PTV News Tonight's roundup of tomorrow's headline stories. I'm Sharm Zespina.
I'm Jay Esteban. Join us again tomorrow on PTV News Tonight.